I love my job. I draw on my family. Noisy, loud, opinionated Mexican Americans on one side, and loud, noisy, opinionated 10th generation Mississippians on the other. As different as my family is, the expression of love is deeply rooted in food and service to others, friends, family, community, and country. I draw on my childhood growing up on military installations all over the world, and my own time serving in the Army. I draw on my culinary education at Sullivan University right here in Louisville, and I draw on my time as a healthcare chef, where I became absolutely adamant that food should be enjoyed and not endured. I have the privilege of working for one of the largest nonprofits in our area, Dare to Care Food Bank. Thank you. My name is Teresa White, and I am the executive chef of our community kitchen in the Parkland neighborhood, just a few miles from here. Traditional food banking is rooted in equality and predicated on donations. Everyone gets groceries, regardless of what your households look like. I can tell you all about the mountains of canned green beans that we get. I can tell you all about the peaches that expired 4 years ago. I can tell you with near clockwork precision that between July 15th and August 15th, as families are getting ready for the new school year, that food banks will be flooded by one particular canned item. I'll give you a moment to guess what that might be. Did anybody guess cranberry sauce? The cranberry sauce that didn't get served last Thanksgiving winds up in food banks every year right before school starts. Food banks take what we get, we do the best we can, and we serve as many people as we can. It's very much a food to the people kind of model. But food to the people doesn't take into consideration religious differences, and cultural differences, and regional tastes, and food aversions, and food allergies, and all the different diets people are on. So when we say food to the people, what we're really saying is, if you're hungry, you'll eat what I give you. And that doesn't feel respectful, and it doesn't feel dignified, and we said we really need to change the way food banking works. So over the last 4 to 5 years, we've had really serious conversations with the people that we serve, asking them to share with us their lived experiences, asking them to share with us what we don't know about them, but is so vital for us to serve them in the most respectful way possible. So we're shifting from an equality model to an equity model. What does that look like? Let's talk chicken. Our friends at Tyson donated 56,000 pounds of whole frozen chickens. Let me say that again because that was not a typo. 56,000 pounds of whole frozen chicken. Maybe for you, you're doing okay, but you have an unexpected medical bill or an expensive car repair and you just need a little bit of help from the food bank. But you have the capacity and the know-how and the time to make a meal out of that. For you all here, maybe you and your partner are retired and you're doing okay. But now you find yourself raising your grandchildren and now you're not okay. And now you need a little support from the food bank. But you really don't have the capacity to deal with a whole chicken. So maybe my team and I cook the chicken. We shred it and pack it into 3-pound bags and we freeze it for you. And now the prep work's been done, but you can take it from here, right? Maybe for you, you're a single parent with 3 kids and 3 jobs and you ride the bus and you have 0 time for any of that. Maybe for you, my team and I cook that into a meal for you, and all you have to do is put it in the microwave to put dinner on the table. That's what equity looks like. That is where the innovation program was born, taking donated food and turning it into something else to help us serve people in the most respectful way possible. Every year during the ramp up to the Kentucky Derby, Dare to Care hosts its largest food fundraiser at Slugger Field, the Taste of Derby Festival. Has anybody gone? It's a great time. For the price of a ticket, attendees can get a pretty hefty sample from over 80 of the best restaurants and distilleries our area has to offer. The heavy hitters of our amazing food scene here all come out, bringing forth their best effort to raise funds for our neighbors in need. At the end of the event, attendees can cast their vote for their favorite dish for the coveted People's Choice Award. I joined the kitchen team in May of 2020, in the early months of the pandemic, and the Taste of Derby Festival had been canceled, like so many other special and ordinary events at that time. But as we rounded into 2021, planning began in earnest, and I was thrilled when they asked the kitchen team to participate as a vendor for the first time ever. I really had to start thinking about the kids that we serve in our kids' cafe. We serve over 1,500 school-aged children hot, healthy meals at our kids' cafe locations all over the city. Additionally, we also make silver suppers, low-income meals that we make, frozen meals that we make for our low-income seniors, and we make medically tailored meals for our neighbors in need who also have a chronic illness. And across all of our programs, that's about 3,500 meals every day, and we're a team of 7 people. I love writing notes to the kids that we serve, commenting on things like the changing seasons, sports, holidays, and asking for their input on the meals that we make. So after we were invited to take part in the Taste of Derby Festival, I wrote a note to the kids. I asked them, what meal do you want me to serve to this fancy event with these fancy people? Kids meal. Their overwhelming response, buffalo chicken enchilada dip served with whole grain tortilla chips. Okay. This has been a hands-down favorite of the kids for years, adapted from a recipe from my predecessor. We punched up the nutrition, we started making the sauce from scratch, and we dialed up the heat because our kids love spicy. The day of the Taste of Derby was perfect. Warm, a little breezy. My team and I were carrying things into the event space at Slugger Field, passing by tables of places like Martini's, Jeff Ruby's, Volare. So we set up our booth, we put on our good chef coats, and we waited for the doors to open. Floods of people started coming through, and we settled into kind of an easy flow of serving up samples, talking about who we are and what we do, and emphasizing the care that we take and the conversations that we have with our neighbors in need. I'm gonna interrupt myself right now and just tell you that this is an event I look forward to every year as a foodie, and there's 2 particular attendees that I look for every year. They are elegantly dressed, fabulously accessorized, pair of ladies who come every year, and I have affectionately nicknamed them the pocketbook ladies. They bring a large handbag with little reusable containers in their bag. When they come across something particularly tasty, they ask for additional samples to enjoy at home. I love admiring their colorful outfits and asking them in a kind of a conspiratorial fashion, who made it into the pocketbook? So as we're serving our kids' cafe favorite meal, buffalo chicken enchilada dip served with whole grain tortilla chips, I'll admit to some butterflies when I saw the pocketbook ladies heading our way, feathered and bedazzled to the heavens. As a chef, there is something magical about that first bite. I watched them take their sample, and time kind of stood still for a moment. I watched the expression on their faces as they tasted and savored our food. And y'all, We made it into the pocketbook. At the end of the night, we were a little footsore and our voices were hoarse from hours of talking. We packed everything up, we dropped everything off at the kitchen, and we went home for some much-needed rest. A few days later, we had the after-action meeting. What went well, what didn't, what do we want to keep, what do we want to change? The votes for the People's Choice Award were tallied. And y'all, we scored in the top 5. Fifth, out of a packed field of 80 of the best restaurants and distilleries our area has to offer. So as I sat down to write that note to the children to let them know how we did, I imagined how respected and seen the kids must have felt. We served their choice, their meal, to this fancy event, to these fancy people. And the fancy people thought their food was worthy. I hope the children know how much we care. I hope that they know that we think that they are worth our time, our care, and our best effort. The kids were excited, jumping up and down, giving each other high fives. It was great. And then they immediately started sending me notes to tell me how I can improve for next year. Kids. The face of hunger isn't who you think it is. It's not those people over there. The face of hunger goes to work with you. They go to worship with you. Their kids go to the same school your kids go to. The face of hunger is in this room tonight. The face of hunger looks just like you. It is imperative that we make this work personal. We have the power to impact the world in service to the least of us. I hope that you think about that the next time you reach for that can of peaches that expired 4 years ago, or that leftover can of cranberry sauce. And I hope that you ask yourself, is this the best expression of love that I have to offer? Thank you.